This chapters will be a little different because there's no screen recording, but I still hope you enjoy it. Chapter 18, The Second Generation. I wake up Capri and we walk through the woods for a couple hours before taking a break and picking some berries. We find a stream and fill our water bottles up. I drink 2 whole bottles of water before filling my bottle up and putting it in my bag. Capri sits down at the stream and washes her hands. She takes off her socks and shoes and puts her feet in the water. She lets out a sigh of relief as the cool water runs over her feet. I stand behind her, watching our surroundings. I kneel down and wash the rabbit blood and dirt off of my hands and face. I watch as Capri puts her socks and boots on. Her boots look a little more uncomfortable than mine. She's probably not used to wearing hunting boots. Let's keep moving. We shouldn't stay in one place for too long. She nods at me and we continue walking. After a while, Maya, Colby, and Maddie walk out from behind some trees. I load my bow and aim it at them. Suddenly, a male tribute appears behind me and puts a knife through my throat. Put down the bow. I know that voice. It's the boy from District 4, Rafe. I lower the bow and then quickly take out my knife and stab him in the leg. He doubles over, slowly bleeding out. Maddie runs at me, a sword in her hand. She cuts my side slightly, but I manage to overpower her. I grab her arm and twist it. She drops the sword, and I stab her in the stomach. She drops in front of me. Her blood splatters on my face, arms, and hands. Colby and Maya look surprised that I was able to take down their friends. I look over at Capri. She looks like I'm a monster. She looks at me like I'm a monster. Capri. I step closer to her, and Capri steps away from me. Willow, I grab her arm and hug her. It's okay. I pull away from her and push a piece of hair from her face. Suddenly, Lily throws a knife at us. I manage to dodge it and fire an arrow at her. She runs in the opposite direction of us, but the arrow hits her arm. I look back at Capri. She's pulling a knife out of her chest. Willow. I catch her before she can fall. I drop all my things and sit on the ground with Capri's head in my lap. I cry before saying, It's okay. You're okay. I cover the stab wound with my jacket. Willow, don't leave me, please. I move her hair from her face. I won't. I promise. I let a few more tears out before Capri says, Thank you for not abandoning me. I smile. I would never do that, Capri. I kiss her on the forehead before I can no longer feel her pulse. I let out a sob before feeling more outraged than sad. I walk to a tree and tear a piece of thick bark off and carve into it, Little Capri, District 11. The odds were not in her favor. I stare at her lifeless body before kneeling down and placing the wooden nameplate on Capri's chest, covering the stab wound. I continue walking through the forest, knowing I can't sit down and cry over Capri forever. I pick up my bow, sheath of arrows, the orange pack, and my jacket from Capri's chest. The cut on my side is bleeding a lot. I wince as I walk, and the pain from the cut is unbearable at this point. I climb a tall tree and sit on a limb. I put the jacket on my side and apply as much pressure as my trembling hands can take. I remove the jacket to see a deep cut Maddie caused with her sword. I press the jacket back on the cut and rest my head on the tree. The blood stops after a while. I put the jacket in my lap, feeling a bit of relief. I pour water on the cut, but it's not a cut. It's a slice. The cool water soothes the slice, but I feel the wound stinging, throbbing. It's like a heartbeat. I take a deep breath, and the throbbing stops. Maybe it was my heart trying to pump enough blood into my veins to support it. The stinging is a different story. It stings every time I breathe. It burns like fire in my lungs. But I manage to stop my trembling hands and load my bow. I set it in my lap and try to fall asleep. The anthem plays. Capri, Rafe, and Maddie's pictures appear in the sky. My mind has tons of thought racing in it, but the one that is most clear is I need to find Skylar, and I need to find him fast. Chapter 19. I open my eyes, and the first thing I feel is pain, a shooting pain through my side. I look up and see a silver tin with a parachute attached to it, my first and probably only gift from a sponsor. Thank you, Mom and Dad, I think to myself. I stand up. Every moment comes with a wave of sharp pain. I grab the tin and open it. It's medicine, an oily, greasy substance, capital made. I dip 2 of my fingers into it and put it on the slice. The pain softens, the stinging is gone. I sigh in relief. I put the pot in my pack and gather my things. I climb down. Hope is one of the only things I have now. My main mission is to find Skylar. I walk around for a couple hours before hearing Skylar's voice. I run in the direction of it. He's talking to someone. I walk closer. He's talking to Dion, the boy from District 11. I step out of the forest in front of them. Willow, you're alive! I step closer to them. No duh, Skylar. Skylar walks up to me and hugs me. I wince a bit when his arm touches the slice on my rib cage. Are you okay? Skylar pulls away from the hug and crosses his arms. Yeah, it's better than it was yesterday. How did it even happen? I pause for a second. Maddie, District 1, she cut me with a sword. He looks surprised and stunned for a moment. I look at him, trying to picture his surprise that I got cut with a sword. I look over towards Dion. Willow, have you seen Capri anywhere? I pause. Her name sends a pain through my heart when I hear it. I can't even form a sentence, let alone tell him what Lily did to her. She's gone. Really? That's the only thing I can say about Capri's death? It was my fault. Gone? I reach up and run my hand over my braid. Lily, District 2, she threw a knife at us. I look down at my feet. And you didn't protect her? Dion steps closer to me. He's clearly upset. I tried. I really did. I look up at him. He really thinks I wouldn't protect her? Clearly you didn't try hard enough, did you? What did he just say? He thinks it's my fault? She was like my sister, Dion. I would give up my life for her. I raise my voice a bit. I don't care if anyone else hears me. I'm outraged he blames me for her death. She was like a sister to you? She was my sister. I immediately freeze up and back off. I can see the pain in his eyes as he speaks. Skylar looks as shocked as I am. Deep down, I know he is right. It is my fault she is gone. I stand in front of Dion for a moment, coming up with an apology in my head. Dion, save it. I don't want to hear it. You've caused enough pain. Me and Skylar watch as he turns around and walks away. Skylar pulls me into a hug. It's okay. You didn't know. I can't believe I didn't protect her enough. Maybe if I did, she would still be alive, with me, Skylar, and her brother that I've caused so much pain towards. I push him away. No, he's right. It's my fault she's gone. Skylar grabs my hands. Now I can definitely tell all of the Capitol's cameras are on us. Our friends to lovers story is at its highest now. I trust that you tried to protect her. Skylar's words are comforting. It's not just his words, though. It's his voice, too. I clear my throat and wipe my hands on my pants. We should keep moving. We can't stay in one place for too long. Skylar nods, and we catch up with Dion. We stay silent for a moment, for what feels like an eternity, until Dion speaks up. So, Willow, have you killed someone yet, other than my sister? I ignore his infuriating comment and tighten my grip on my bow. 2 people. Dion stops in his tracks. You're not the sweet girl I saw during the interviews, are you? 2 kills can change a person. I hoist the bow over my torso. So what? I did what I had to do to survive. I said bluntly. And I know both Skylar and Dion can definitely tell. Dion scoffs, and then he continues walking before speaking once again. So how many of us are left? I count in my head how many died in the bloodbath, and how many ones I've killed. Around 11 are left, counting us. So that's why there's blood on your face and hands. Who was it? I think a bit, but I'm not really thinking. I know who I killed. Maddie, District 1, and Rafe, District 8. A thought comes into my head, and I can't believe A thought comes into my head that I can't believe didn't pop in sooner. How sad the families must be because of their fallen son and daughter, brother and sister, angry because it's a malnourished girl from District 12 overpowering their son and daughter so easily. I do feel some guilt, but I did what I had to do. I mean, it is the Hunger Games. We continue walking for a bit before Dion and Skylar sit down and light a small fire. When was the last time you 2 ate? I roll my eyes, but I can't let my only ally starve. 2 days ago. Why? Skylar looks at me with a hint of hope in his eyes. I can catch something if you want. I take my pack off and put it on the ground. No, Willow, you don't. I'm not letting you 2 starve. I interrupt him. I try not to sound rude, but I'm pretty sure they took it that way. If I'm not back in less than an hour, wait for the cannon to signal my death. I walk off into the dark woods before Skylar can say something. I stand up against the tree for what seems like forever until I see a small bird. I raise my bow quietly. With all my pent-up anger, I let go of the string, the arrow going straight through the bird's head. I pull the arrow out of the ground and put it in the sheath on my back. I carry the bird back to camp. I sit on my knees next to Dion and Skylar. Yo, you caught a grousling! I jump a bit at Dion's words. Grousling must be the name of the bird I caught. I stay silent, plucking the bird's feathers. Nice catch, Willow Tree. Skylar pats my shoulders. I roll my eyes and continue plucking the feathers. Dion looks slightly grossed out by Skylar's nickname for me. White people have weird nicknames, I swear. I finish plucking the bird and stand up and find a stick. I put the stick through the grousling and put it over the fire. You're not the talkative, cheeky, lively girl we saw during the interviews. I glare at Dion. How could he not tell I was putting on an axe so I could make it? I look back at the bird roasting and I take it off the fire after what I think is 40 minutes. I grab a flat rock and put the cooked grousling on it. Thanks, Willow, but you really didn't have to do that. Dion elbows Skylar in his side. Man, let her. I roll my eyes and grab my pack. Where are you going? Skylar's voice catches my attention. To sleep. I walk to a tree and climb it. I sit on one of the limbs. Yo! I hear Dion's voice. No wonder Skylar calls you Willow Tree. I roll my eyes. Stop yelling before you get us all killed. I say loud enough for them to hear. Dion puts his hands up. Alright, girl, cool it. I belt myself onto the limb, load my bow and put it in my lap, and rest my head against the tree. I managed to fall asleep after watching Skylar and Dion put out the fire and fall asleep before me. Chapter 21. I wake up before Skylar and Dion do. I unbelt myself from the tree limb and grab my things. I jump down from the tree and find a small stream. I fill up my water bottle, wash the blood off my hands, jacket, and face. I can't tell if it's my blood, Maddie's, Rafe's, or little Capri's. I open my pack, grab the knife and the arrows, and wash the dried blood off of them. I know it would be helpful, but not in this way. I let my jacket dry on a large rock near the stream. I sit by the stream, letting the cool water run over my hands. After my jacket dries, I walk back to Skylar and Dion. She's back. I roll my eyes at Dion's comment. As I walk past them, Skylar grabs my arm. Where were you? I woke up before you guys, so I went to find a stream. Skylar releases my arm, and I sit next to him and Dion. Well, we'll need to keep moving, so the other 8, a cannon goes off correcting me. 7, tributes, won't know our location at all times. Dion stands up. Well, let's get a head start. Me and Skylar get up, and the 3 of us start walking through the woods. After a few hours, Finn, District 2, Emma, District 5, and Kate, District 6, spot us and run towards us. Guys, we should start running. We get a little bit in front of them, but soon they catch up. Me and Skylar are ahead of Dion a bit when Kate throws a knife at him, hitting him in the throat. Dion coughs up blood and falls to the ground. Oh my God. I look back at Dion, coughing up more blood and trying to yell something. Skylar grabs my arm, and we keep running. Willow, let's go. We don't have time for this. I turn around and grab 2 arrows from the sheath on my back and aim them at the group. Willow, what are you doing? I let go of the string and the arrows hit Finn and Kate in their chests. I turn around and continue running with Skylar. Nice shot, Willow, but next time, tell me! Emma is chasing us. She's surprisingly fast, and she catches up to me quickly. I trip over a rock, and Emma catches up to me. She flips me on my back and puts a knife to my throat. Not so tough now, huh? She's confident, but I won't sharpen her ego. Let me go, and you won't get hurt. Emma laughs, clearly amused at my comment. Funny. She slides the knife across my neck and makes a small cut below my ear. I struggle against her. This is not how I want to die. Oh, how much fun it must be for my parents at the Capitol watching their daughter die like this. You will not be the reason I don't make it home. I manage to grab an arrow from my sheath on my back and plunge it into her stomach. Emma gasps and I push her off of me. She sits against the tree, clutching her stomach, trying to stop the bleeding. Skylar helps me up, and Emma gets one final sentence out. You may kill me, but what happens when you and your little boyfriend have to fight against each other? She lets out a pained laugh, and I've had enough. I rip the arrow out of her stomach, and the blood won't stop, no matter how hard she tries. Emma tries to speak, but she's already gone, her body sitting against a tree in a pool of blood. Her hair still in two messy buns on the top of her head. Her once lively, pale green eyes are now fogged over and dim. I drop the arrow and turn to Skylar. I don't know what to say. Skylar looks a bit afraid of me. He lets out a nervous laugh and hugs me. At least that's not you. I hug him back. It could have been. We pull away from each other and walk where the cornucopia is. Lily and Colby are waiting there for us. Lily has a bandage around where I shot her with an arrow. Colby, well, I don't know how she's still alive. She has no skills. Sure, her being insanely pretty is one of them, but overall, she's not prepared for this at all. I act fast, aiming my bow at Colby, the arrow hitting her in the leg. She throws a rock that she had in her hand at me. Lily and Skylar are fighting. They're both insanely good with their fists. I focus on Colby, though. She runs at me, and I punch her in the nose. The impact knocks her down, and she quickly jumps back up and puts me in a headlock. Let go of me. I struggle against her. I'm so done with this whole thing. I don't even want to hold back. Not so fast. Tell me why you and Skylar like each other so much. I think of something that will definitely make her mad. Really? That's your question? She looks outraged. My plan definitely worked. I could kill you right now. I'd watch your mouth. I laugh a bit at her comment. I take my knife out of my pack and stab her in the back. Her grip immediately releases from me, and I kick her body to the ground.